It says a 79-year-old man with the history of prostate cancer is brought to the emergency department because of lower abdominal pain for 1 hour. He is not urinated for 24 hours. Abdominal examination shows palpable bladder with tender on palpitation. A pelvic ultrasound is performed by emergency department resident, confirms the diagnosis of acute urinary retention. His attempt to perform transurethral catheterization is unsuccessful. A urologic consultation is ordered. Urologist plan to attempt a suprapubic catheterization. As a urologist is called to see different emergency patient, she asked emergency department resident to obtain an informed consent for this procedure. The resident recalls a lecture about different modes of catheterization, but he has never seen or performed a suprapubic catheterization himself. Which of the following statement by emergency department resident is more appropriate? So this is a basic ethic question. Uh, should a resident obtain a consent from the patient, or should so answer here is D. You can see uh, the patient here we have to look at the ethical scenario that is facing as the patient who can ask about the different risk factor and what is a condition that is being treated for, and he just knows the lecture about the catheterization. He had never performed himself a suprapubic catheter, so it would be best for the uh, doctor, the urologist, to take the consent rather than a resident who has no idea about, who had never performed the procedure. Let's say first option, I'll make sure patient read and signs the document. No, the patient should be informed. The informed consent comprises of everything starting from the diagnosis to the risk factor. What are the indication for this treatment? What is a risk factor of no treatment? So he should be informed regarding everything. I'm happy to obtain the informed on your behalf, but I'm no, in residency you are allowed to do consent, but make sure you are fully aware of the procedure that you are doing. Suprapubic catheterization, no, it's so here they have determined by the urologist also that the patient needs catheterization. I will ask patient to waive the informed. You cannot waive the informed consent until and unless it's an emergency. Okay, no, you cannot. So patient, so best thing to do is ask the urologist to obtain a consent when is back, when you are available again. Okay, so you can see what comprises of the consent. First of all, there are preconditions. When you go to obtain a consent from a patient, we have to see the two important factors that can help us see if the patient is competent, like he's not having any kind of delirium or any psychiatric history, or patient is volunteered, or let's say a 85-year-old man, he wants his son to take all the decisions. So you should be, and there should be volunteeringness in this informed consent. So we should ask consent from the his son if he is not volunteering to inform or take the consent. We have to disclose the key fact. What are the key fact we have to disclose? First of all, the diagnosis of the patient. What is the proposed treatment or procedure? What is the alternate treatment or options? We have to include the major risk factor that is seen, and major complication should be, and the risk of refusing the treatment. What are the other disclosure if applicable? We should mention the role of resident or medical student. If the patient is having any additional procedures, we should obtain a consent for every procedure that's done. A financial conflict should be addressed during informed consent. No, during emergency, the consent is, we don't need any type of consent. It's pre-applied. So let's go through the text here. The person who is performing the procedure should obtain a consent. Like here in this case, urologist was going to perform a procedure, but he had to go away. So urologist should obtain the consent from the patient. A person who is most knowledgeable about the procedure should obtain the informed consent, because we must inform patient all the options of treatment, risk of the options, and risk of not performing the procedure in the language that patient can understand. Consent must be obtained by the person who is qualified to make the explanation. For example, you are an intern who is consulted for surgery to place subclavian central venous line. You only know the access must be obtained. You don't know why internal jugular approach is being used. On the phone, the surgical resident says, can you go and get the consent while I'm coming up? What should you do? So here you should ask surgical resident to obtain the consent by himself, because he, the medical student, does not have idea why this procedure is necessary and what are the risks.
Thanks for watching. Please give a thumbs up and subscribe for more.